So some of you have been asking how to use Bitmex before you actually get into the server. So I'm going to be making this video to basically show you the bare minimum that you need to know in order to follow and profit from my Signal channel. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get on the testnet. I should have sent you this link, but here we can simulate trades without actually having to go on the real thing. So you want to go over here. This is actually where you make your order. So this is the limit price. This is how much we're putting into the trade. Limit price basically means the price that is on the graph currently, or where you want the trade to actually execute at. So let's say I gave out a call that said go long at 6,300 and you want to close your long at 6,500. And yeah, that would basically be a standard signal. So let me go ahead and explain short and long and then leverage, because these are the three things that make Bitmex really special. So if I open a long position, as the price of BTC increases, I gain more money, just like I would be gaining before. But instead of gaining USD value, I now gain BTC as it goes up. But I start losing BTC as it goes down. That's the trade-off. You don't start just losing USD. You actually start losing the amount of BTC that you have. If I say sell short, that means as the price of BTC falls, you actually gain money. But as the price of BTC rises, you lose money. So that's the trade-off with long and short, is you can lose money going the opposite direction. So basically, as the price falls, you want to go short. As the price goes up, you want to go long. And I give out a signal as to whenever the most profitable direction is. So let's say I said go long at 6,300. Currently the price is around 6,282. That means we can go in currently. We're not too late for this signal. And what you want to do is you want to adjust your leverage right here. I use 50x leverage. What leverage basically means is you're taking the amount of that you're trading. Let's say we're using $10 in this trade. We're going to put $10 times 50x. What that does is it allows our order to become, instead of $10, it becomes $500 instead. And that's the example with 50x. If I did 10x leverage, our $10 order now becomes $100. But it still only cost us $10 to make. The downside is, let's say I went long and I was expecting it to go up. But if the price falls, I instead of losing 1% or however much we move down, so let's say I move down 1% right here on 10x leverage, instead of losing 1% of BTC, I now lose 10% of BTC and that we put in our trade. That's because we multiplied our gains, the amount we're trading with, by 10x. On 50x, it's the same thing. If we move down 1% in BTC on 50x leverage, instead of losing 1%, I lose roughly 50% of our trade. But that's not to worry with our Signal server, because again, I am trying to give you the most accurate position that you can go at the given moment. So back to the Signal. Our Signal uses 50x leverage on average. I will specify if you were to use 25x leverage, for example. But you want to go over here. You want to put your leverage limit price as whatever the price currently is. So I'm just going to do this just so we can get our trade in as fast as we can. Quantity. Let's say we wanted to risk $10 into this trade, just for a small number's sake. You don't want to put $50, not $10, you don't want to put $10 there. What you want to put is $10, the amount that you would be putting into the trade, times your leverage. So in this case, we're using 50x leverage. So what we want to actually do is put 10 times 50. You don't want to do 10 times 50 like that. You just want to get out your calculator or whatever. I have one right here. You want to do 10 times 50, and that means 500. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 500. If we're using 25x leverage, you would instead put 10 times 25. If you're using $100, you would do 100 times 25. If you're using 50x leverage, you do 100 times 50. If you get what I'm trying to say here. So our trade is still worth $10, and it still only costs us $10 to make, but it's now based on $500 worth of gains. So let's go long, for example. So we actually see our position now right over here. And so right here, there are three things to note. Right here is a liquid price. If you hit this liquidation point, and I think it's approximately right over here. If we hit 6,200 at this price point right here, we lose 100% of what we put into that trade. So in this case, we put $10. So if we hit this price point, we lose our $10 that we put into our trade. But for our Signal server, we have actually never hit that liquidation point. So rest assured that that'll never happen with my signals. But if you were trading on your own, then this price point is what you want to avoid at all cost, because it means you lose 100%. And the lower leverage you use, the further that point is away. That's what makes the lower leverage less risky, because that liquidation point is less close to us, at the trade-off that you don't gain as much, of course. So that's your liquidation point. This is your raw amount that you gain, unrealized P&L. So what you want to do is you want to hover over this percentage. If you don't hover, it will show some different amount. What you want to do is you want to hover over this price point, and you can actually see how much you have gained. So far, the price has moved down like half a cent. So, and I went long, so I'm down 0.3%. But if the price were to increase, you would see 5%, 10%, or whatever, 17% of what you would actually have gained on your position. Realized P&L, if you were to just hover over it, you would be able to see how much the fee that you have basically put into the trade. Bitmex charges a fee every 8 hours, depending on your position, and you can see that fee all the way onto the left over here. This red point right there will basically show how much your fee is going to be every 8 hours, and it's subject to change. But yeah, if you wanted to close, you would come over here, and let's say for a signal we said enter at 6,300, go long, and then close at 6,500. So we're going to go to this text box right here. We're going to put 6,500, and we're just going to click close, the blue button that says close. That way, right when it hits this point, you can see it on the graph now, that as it moves up and hits this point right there, it's going to automatically close your position and take the gains that you would have gained. And that's basically it for that. That's basically what you're going to do whenever I say close at 6,500. You can even put it a bit lower at 6,480, just to make sure that your order is closed. Market is basically you want to get out of the trade as soon as you want, as soon as possible. The trade-off with that is that there's a higher fee, and it's not really useful. I mean, I guess if you're trying to get out of a trade really fast, it is useful, but again, it does pay a really high fee. But the benefit is it instantly closes your position. See how it instantly closed? And so yeah, that's the summary with Bitmex. So just to give you a quick rundown again, 6,300 is our entry point, so up to there, and you want to close at 6,500, 50x leverage, long. So like, let's say I gave that signal, go over here, just however much you wanted to put into that trade. Limit price would be whatever price you wanted to enter at. So I said enter at 6,300. Currently at 6,290, so we can still enter. So I'm just gonna put that, and I said long. You want a long right there. So we enter a long. Now I can either wait and watch as it goes up, or if I need to go somewhere, I can do 6,500 right there. And I just click close, so that when it hits this price point, it would automatically close. I can even move it down to 6,487, or let me move it down a little bit more. There you go, 6,480. That way I can make sure that I secure the gains that I said. And yeah, there you go. It'll automatically close, and you would automatically gain at whatever price percentage you would have gained. That's basically the rundown of Bitmex. Here are the other altcoins. Occasionally I would give signals for these too, like this one. I would say short this one, this coin, or short EOS at this price. Just know that it's at the top over here, And yeah, that's basically a rundown on Bitmex.